Again, some breaking news here. President Joe Biden is invoking the Defense Production Act to address the nationwide shortage of baby formula. The part of the problem here is that only four companies essentially dominate baby formula in America. One of the things, though, Monique, and Democrats have done an awful job with this, Donald Trump actually, by opposing NAFTA and whatever the heck that new thing he called it, he actually made it difficult to be able to import baby formula from Canada. And so that's actually exacerbated the problem. The FDA took one of Abbott's manufacturing facilities offline because they had contaminated baby formula. This is what happens in a country when you only have four companies that are dominating a market. If one goes down, you're absolutely screwed. And so we've seen all of these different stories, Republicans blaming the baby formula problem on President Joe Biden. No, blame it on the companies who screwed up, who were actually sending out a baby formula that was actually making kids sick.
Absolutely. Blame it on them. Blame it on the prior president because of making it much harder for us to access imports that are necessary. But it also, Roland, I want to point out, it further highlights the disparities that exist. When anything goes wrong, it affects our community disproportionately more so and worse than others. So, for instance, there was all this information going around saying, ladies, if you need formula, just go on Amazon, click from your United States to Canada, and go ahead and order, and it will come to your door. And you know what? That worked. That worked for people who have Amazon Prime, people who have Wi-Fi service, people who are not on government assistance, who don't have WIC or SNAP, because you cannot use online purchasing for items for that. So there are a lot of issues that people don't necessarily understand, who are not dealing with this at this part of their lives anymore. I was just thinking earlier today how freaked out I would have been if I had young children during a time like this. I was fortunate enough to be able to nurse mine, but then in the transition from nursing to regular milk, supplementing with some formula in the middle, and there's nothing scarier for a mom than not being able to provide proper nourishment for a baby, and to hear a crying, hungry baby. And that is something that should never happen in the United States for any child.
This is the thing that to me is crazy. Look, that's crazy. I don't understand how, if you are the administration, you allow folks to somehow blame you for a problem you have nothing to do with, Scott. And this is where you say, no, it's the idiot, all of you idiots who voted for tossing out NAFTA and then approving that, whatever that crap Trump passed. That's what made it difficult. You put the blame exactly where it is. And again, monopolies in this country. Four companies control 90% of the baby formula in America. Anything happens with one of those companies, it's a massive crisis in this country. And this is the problem with monopolies.
Here's the other problem, though. Watch this. Under Trump, they let that company, that factory, shut down appropriately because of the formula. But they did nothing. The regulators did nothing under these circumstances where 90% is covered by those four companies. They did nothing to get that factory back up and running on a timely basis. In case we hit this shortage, whether it was during COVID or pre-COVID, it didn't matter. Their administration did that. Had that factory been back up and running on a timely basis, it's likely that you wouldn't have this delay or debate. But it's an election year. This is all politics. And so Biden's going to get blamed, and he's going to have to respond because he's in the president seat right now.
Well, again, this is smart by the president to invoke this particular National Defense Act because it allows them to bypass that ridiculous law and import baby formula in order to actually alleviate this problem, Robert.
And look, Roland, I think this should also highlight the fact that baby formula is exceedingly expensive without government assistance, primarily because of the monopolies that exist. Back when I was in college, I was a security guard at Kroger, right there by the AUC. So we did the night shift. You know, the number one thing that people stole out of that Kroger? Baby formula. And so what they would do, they would steal large amounts and then resell it because they could resell it for a premium. It was literally like a day didn't go by that we didn't catch somebody stealing baby formula. A lady ran off. One of the guys I worked with chased after her. I made $8 an hour, so I ain't chasing nobody. And she hit him upside the head with one of those big cans of baby formula, so he came back covered in powder. It was hilarious, but that's beside the point. I think what President Biden needs is a better communications team around him, because what we don't see is him being able to send out surrogates on shows just like this, to hit the late night shows, to hit all the cable news shows, so they can get the administration's a part of the story out there. You still see more pundits and more spokespeople for President Trump than you see for President Biden. So because of that, you don't have anybody carrying the message. And going into November, you have to be able to show the American people that you're putting points on the board, that you're actually doing something to address these problems, that when they're solved, they aren't just mysteriously going away, but it's because of presidential action and the ability to show that the deregulation that Republicans have been talking about for the last 30 years, cutting taxes on millionaires and billionaires, result directly in the problems they have right now. And we actually need to have a functional federal government which is willing to put the measures in place to put competition in the market, keep safe products on the shelf, and then address the failures of the last administration by actually putting in together a competent federal government that can address these issues.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?